Bullying is an unfortunate reality for many teens both in Australia and across the globe. It's such a controversial topic. It's even launched a parliamentary inquiry and it's become the subject of a short film set to hit the school curriculum.
The Aussie movie is called Best Enemies and it stars newcomer Leanne Simon. The movie follows Leanne's character Rebecca as she deals with betrayal, bullying and depression. Here's a sneak peek.
Slut. Girls, you've got to get this walk right. Ames, do you know what's going on? Oh, yeah. Why don't you tell us? Apparently you've been quite the bad girl. Funny that. I thought you were saving yourself from marriage.
Yeah, now to tell us more about the relevance of Best Enemies to the current generation of teens is writer and director Ross Bark, the film's producer Darren Bark, and in Melbourne we're joined by psychologist Simon Kinsella. Good morning to you all. Ross, let's start with you. What actually inspired you to write this story?
Well, a friend of the family came to me 4 years ago and told me how her daughter had been heavily bullied at school. And that started and inspired the story, so much so that I started researching it further, brought Darren in, and we went into schools and we got the kids to close their eyes, put up their hands and ask them if they've been experienced bullying or if they've had the experience of bullying or know people who are being bullied. And all of them put up their hands, Larry. So, you know, it's particularly relevant because what we found is that it can affect a huge number of people, right, including your children, potentially, could be experienced by this.
Darren, you obviously believed in this story as well. Why do you think it needed to be told?
Well, it needed to be told because from the research that we did over 4 years, the indication was that bullying is on the rise, suicide is on the rise, depression and so on. And we really need to have a proactive solution which is going to engage students and kids, something that's on their level, which they are going to understand and draw an emotional response so they can really see the consequences of bullying and their actions before they, personally experience it themselves.
Yeah, Simon, let's bring you in here. How many teens face the sort of bullying portrayed in the film? The boys are saying that everyone put their hands up in these classrooms.
I think the statistics in Australia say that it's about 1 in 4. In America it's as high as 40%, so it's extremely prevalent and it's a great concern.
Yeah, Simon, there's an inquiry into teenage bullying. Do you think Aussie schools are handling what is a huge issue? Are they handling it properly?
Unfortunately not. I think the schools generally are under-resourced and the implementation of bullying programs is extremely varied.
Right. Simon, what can parents do at home to reduce the risks for their kids when it comes to things like cyberbullying?
Well, there's a number of things. First of all, keep computers out of the bedroom, and this really should start from a young age so that it's not imposed on young people as they hit adolescence. Encourage children to talk about the interactions they're having with people on the internet so that parents can better understand who they're talking to and what kinds of interactions they're having. Monitor and supervise the interactions that children are having. Reassure kids that if they do report bullying, they're not going to be taken offline. Teach them how to block and how to delete bullies. Encourage children to report bullies to webmasters. Websites like Facebook and MySpace have rules about behaviour on the internet that they can implement if they discover that people are misbehaving. And last of all, save any evidence. The great thing about the internet is that it allows people to keep a record of what other people are doing to them.
Okay. Ross, this is being worked into the school curriculum and you say it's also been shown overseas. Really interested to know, how are the kids responding to the movie?
Fantastically. What we're finding is because the kids are actually, generating an emotional reaction from the film, they're actually seeing it as something that talks directly to them, rather than talking down to them.
Well, or as opposed to a teacher getting up in front of the blackboard, right, and just sort of dictating
that's exactly
to them.
Right. Yeah. And many of the school programs that are there today are far more authoritative. So they talk down to the kids, they're not talking directly at them, and they're not drawing an emotional response, because most kids go, well, it's not going to happen to me, but it does.
Very quickly, we're out of time. Darren, in one sentence, what do people need to take away from this after seeing it?
Well, people need to take away, after seeing it, that this is a big issue. It's an issue that's on the rise, and that teachers, parents, schools, and the children themselves need to understand the consequences of those actions and really understand what it can do, not only to themselves but to society in general.
Okay, the movie is called Best Enemies and it premieres in Sydney next Wednesday. Check it
Important
out.
message. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Simon, thank you too.
Thanks,
Okay.
Thank you.